back. It is me. It is the Cyber Warrior. This is Cyber Warrior Studios. And I know you're all here for another amazing episode of What? Security Happy Hour. That's right. And look, I wish this was my shirt because it's an amazing saying, shut up, liver, you're fine. But it's not. I got it at Beer Fest about a year or two ago. Anyways, we're going to have an amazing episode. A lot to talk about, a lot to go over. I can't stress enough how important this episode is going to be because it's going to touch home on quite a few topics that I've talked about on other platforms and in other videos that I have done that are not security happy hour. Some of them are, but we are definitely going to touch on a little bit of everything. So please like, comment, share, subscribe, all those fun things. And if you hang on for about 10 seconds, I promise we'll be right back. And like I said, we're back. Look, with me this evening, I have the one and only Alana Stroud, and I hope I did not butcher that last name. The first name can be pronounced one of two ways. We're going to go with Alana for today because I already started drinking, so we're not going to try to change it.
Thank you.
But good to have you on here. How you doing this evening?
I'm great, thank you. Yeah, it's awesome to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. It's you've had a long journey. I saw you enter cybersecurity. I saw your post. I saw you kind of get there and then make the change. So I would like to know, first and foremost, what got you into cybersecurity, because that's going to dictate kind of your journey into where you're at now. So what actually took you into cyber?
Well, I'll try to give you the Reader's Digest version. I drove Lyft for 2.5 years straight in Denver. And it was, well, I tried to go into the military, and that was kind of a bust. I was medically separated. So I came back from that in 2019. And luckily, I could go straight back to Lyft. But I was like, this isn't what I want to be doing with the rest of my life. I'm 39 years old. I need to get some shit figured out. So, I mean, the first half of my life, I was a single mom. So I was doing the thing, raising my kid, that was fine. Mm-hmm. But so in December of 2019, I picked up a guy and we were just chit-chatting like you do. And he told me that he worked in cybersecurity. And I was like, oh, what is that like? What do you do there? And I'd always wanted to be in the FBI. I always wanted to be in law enforcement. But then I got pregnant and that became, more important than getting shot or killed. So he was like, well, if you like detective work and you've got that kind of analytical mind, you should look into cybersecurity, and it pays really well. And I'm like, well, what do you mean really well? And then he said what he made, and I was like, well, that's really well. So he told me the school that he went to, and I don't believe in coincidences. So I went home, researched it, and I enrolled. I started in March, so that was December 2019. Started in March of 2020. So right when COVID hit and Lyft completely died out. So I had no pass. I would have literally had no livelihood at that point. So it was conveniently inconvenient. And that's how I got into cyber. It was somebody told me about it. And I was like, that makes sense. This is a time in my life that I need to find a career to get cemented in. And I don't have a technical background. Any tech that I have in my house conspire against me, and it's a constant struggle to get the printer to work or that to work. Like, what's wrong with you?
Well, let's be fair. Nobody likes printers.
Yeah, no.
Nobody in tech likes printers. They always break.
This thing sucks. Fucking HP printer right now. Anyways, yeah, that's how I got in. And I was lucky enough. One of my instructors in boot camp became my mentor, and he's still my mentor to this day, whether he likes it or not. But I could tell that this man knew his shit. And I told him, whatever you've got, I want that. It was like Dr. Strange, teach me. And so he did. And he taught me how to use LinkedIn. He was like, look, you need to build your network. You need to build your brand. You need to this, you need to that. This is how you do it. And I listened. I did every single thing that he said. And, the proof is I have almost 11,000 followers. I don't know how that happened. I've got almost 4,000 connections because I connect with everybody. If I'm watching a YouTube show, I'll go find them, connect. If I'm reading a book, find them, connect. It doesn't matter who it is because I know if I just follow them, they're never going to see my stuff. They don't know I exist. So if I want to actually interact with them and have those conversations, get myself known, I need to connect and be able to be involved. So that's really how I got into cyber.
And I think it's crazy because back in 2020 is when I started this show, and it had nothing to do with what was going on at that time because in 2019 I was finally working from home and I wanted to come up with a way to I had watched Broken Skull sessions. I was like, I want to do this for cyber. So like that's where the show came from. I loved wrestling, loved Broken Skull sessions with Stone Cold. Like, I want to drink beer and talk security. Let's go. Like all day. And then, what happened. And I just took it in stride. But, I started doing this and I find that a lot of people that are getting into security at that time, it was either really hard and they're still struggling or really easy. Meaning they went through the courses, got whatever bare minimum they needed and found the right person and were in, or to this day, they're either still at entry level, like just breaking in type of
Yeah.
deal, or not in a job at all. And I think it's because I don't know. It can be the network that they're in, who they're connected to. It could be how they reach out. Like there's so many different facets to how to actually get in that I honestly don't have a reason why some people find it, some people
I have a theory. This industry has a lot of introverts, a lot of people that are English is their second language. So when they approach me, because I used to do a lot of work with schools, the cyber schools, I was a TA for a little while. I would do career weeks for the Amazon program, their cyber program. And so I talked to a lot. I would do like these 20-minute back-to-back, and it was like some game show. It was honestly like tons of anxiety. It was like, okay, who's next? Okay, who's next? Okay, who's next? And then try to answer their complicated ass questions within 20 minutes time. And but it was fun, new grad roulette, I guess. But they're afraid to put themselves out there, or they
yeah.
think that's not important. She's just saying that I can do this, I can. And the thing that still sticks in my mind that my mentor told me was, you don't want to just apply blindly into the void and be one of those people, do you? Where you've got 300-400 applications stacking up, nobody's reaching out to you, and you're getting nothing but rejection after rejection. It's like, I really don't want that. And he's like, well, if you do it this way, you'll have them reaching out to you, bringing jobs to your inbox, as opposed to having to go out and hustle and grind to get it. So I was like, well, that sounds like the better option. So that's what I did. And the post that I made yesterday, I wasn't shitting you when I said almost every single role that I have landed was due to networking. I knew somebody who knew somebody, or I reached out, I talked to an employee that already worked there. They, referred me. And that's kind of just how it is. And if you're too afraid to reach out and talk to people,
Yeah.
I don't know what else to tell you.
I think that's the hardest part that we need to break through in this industry is that social anxiety. Um, but I think that goes a long way into what we're doing now, right? If we look at it, right, you've got a lot of people behind a keyboard, but you have a lot of MSSPs standing up, and more every day because companies are laying people off, so people are starting their own company and they're doing it as a managed service, this, that, and the third. But that still means you need to be client facing. You need to have people that can talk to the engineers, that can talk to the executives, that can do these types of jobs. And if you are so stuck behind a keyboard, unless you find an in with a company, like you're only working for them. So let's say Netflix, for instance, your sole job is working for Netflix as an engineer or an analyst or whatever the case may be. Unless that is your sole responsibility, you will have to, at some point in time, if you work for managed services, talk to people,
Yeah.
especially people you don't talk to every day. So we're talking executives and other engineers and directors and things like that. It's gonna happen. You may not want it to, but it's going to. So I think we have to break out of or work on those social anxiety bubbles. And let's be honest, I have a social meter. A lot of people in this industry, even if you seem extroverted or whatever, you still have a fucking social meter. where you can only stand people and stand to be in situations for so long before you're like, I'm done, I'm burnt out, I want to go home, curl up in my bed, and go to sleep
Yes.
for the next week. I'm done. Like
One
it,
person, all it takes is one person to just like, okay, Tinky Winky, full up. I've had enough today. Thanks so much.
yeah. Like I don't even go out to bars anymore because I'm just like I can't do it. I'm like too many people, too much noise, too much. No, no. And you know what is cheaper to stay at home anyways? I like my solitude. Thank you very much. I got 5 kids that make enough noise for the year in one day. I'm good to go.
Yeah. Yeah, my first job was an MSSP, and we had to write tickets, we had to do incident response, we had to talk with usually the head of the company,
Yeah.
whoever, because they were the one that was responsible. And some of the tickets even that went out that the other guys were writing, okay, guys, writing skills are extremely important. Please try to learn some. It is important because you want to look professional in the things that you write to your clients. Some of the errors that I saw were just, and I'm not talking about from people that English was their second language. I'm talking about Americans
Because we
and
don't know how to
romance.
write. What are you talking about?
I
Well,
was
it's because you get,
oh my
let's be
God.
fair, Elena. You get one of two people. You get the ones that took journalism and know how to write books and author things, and they will literally go in and put the most fluff and detail into everything. So what should be 2 words is now 10 paragraphs. And then you have the ones that are like, oh, I need to elaborate on this, even though it should only be like a sentence. And so they don't know how to do it. So it isn't even eloquent. It's just, let's explain for the sake of explaining exactly what needs explained. And you're just like, dude, you could have just said, it is done. That's literally all they needed to hear. But it's knowing your audience. And I think that's where we lack. As much as communication is an issue, I think knowing your audience is a bigger issue because I suffer from not realizing the audience, and so I'll either go way too technical, or I'll think, oh yeah, short, sweet, to the point. Let's do it like the military. And then I got someone technical on the phone that's like, so what about this? And I'm like, I was not expecting to come with those answers today.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was part of the problem when I was a TA for the boot camp was my expertise was more in like GRC because my
Mhm.
limiting beliefs, my imposter syndrome was like, well, I'm good at this stuff back here from my past life, so let's pull those into cyber instead of chasing after this stuff that's really exciting, which is the reason why I went in. And so I knew all the GRC stuff and I was able to help everybody with their LinkedIn profiles and questions. But when it came to having to help them with the technical things, I felt like kind of an idiot. And I mean,
Yeah.
there were 4 other TAs in my class, at least, thank goodness. And I would always kind of just like try to brush them over onto them. But it got to the point where that's why I stopped being a TA because I felt uh, like I wasn't really good enough to be there to help on the technical end of things. And that's where people are going to struggle most is with the technical stuff, not GRC. So, and I know
I
that
don't
I'm
know. That's look.
volume.
Let's be honest. With the number of regulations, policies, procedures, and everything else out there, GRC is brutal. Look, and Space Tacos is in the chat. She said GRC Mafia. Like, I'm sorry, GRC is on a whole nother level that I don't know, like NIST, like some people do. Like some people live and breathe like NIST and
CSS, my
CMMC
best friend.
and cis like all these things. I'm just like, look, I can Google it. Like if you ask me, is this part of NIST? I'll look it up. But I don't know. They're like, oh yeah, it's NIST 800 dot 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 dot. I'm like, I know what you're talking about. Let me go find the answer because I don't know. I can't remember it.
Yeah, yeah. But it's. I'm sorry for all the people that love GRC. There are intriguing parts of it, yes, there really are. But what I ended up getting pigeonholed in was not at all what I wanted to do. I did not find it stimulating in the least. And that was part of what helped me decide to quit was I had come across 3 questions this author of this book, The Good Enough Job, Simon Stolzoff, there were 3 questions that he asked about intrinsic motivation as far as like mastery and autonomy and purpose. And the answer to all 3 of those questions for me was no. I didn't care about the work that I was doing. I didn't care about the outcome of it. It wasn't leading me in the direction of the things that I wanted to do or the skills that I wanted to learn. And I didn't feel like I was in charge of my own life. I wasn't in the driver's seat. So if my answer to all those questions is no, then what am I doing? And I woke up every day in a really bad mood, and I kept applying to other jobs and other niches of cyber, and I just wasn't getting anywhere. So to me, it was like, all right, if I can't get out of risk, then I'm going to get out of cyber. I tried to go red team. I tried to go vulnerability. I tried to go threat management. I tried to go identity access management. I tried to go even back into blue team. And for some reason, all the doors just kept shutting. And for me, like I said, I don't believe in coincidences. So if this door over here keeps shutting in my face, then maybe I should be looking for a window somewhere else. And that's kind of what I did. I really had to look inside and ask myself, what brings me joy? And if this thing that I'm doing every day for work, I made really good money and I let that go. I had to die to that ego to be able to find what really brought me joy. And that was hard. That was hard to like give up all that money. But at the same time, I still have a contract job. I'm still paying my bills and I still get to work with Mitnick Security. So, I mean, they're a blast. And I love being able to continue to help Kevin Mitnick's legacy live on. But yeah, I just decided, and then also understanding my own mindset and frame of mind where I was when I quit, looking around at all of my, for lack of a better term, brothers and sisters in cyber, like we're kind of a stressed out bunch and our mindset kind of sucks. So I really thought that I could bring something new to that. It's like I've already got this giant network of people that I love and respect that know me and trust me and respect me too. So maybe if I can bring this around to them in a different way, we can do something with that. So we'll see where it goes. We'll see how it goes.
So knowing you, all right. So now we know how you got in. We know a general version of your career and where it went, and a brief summation as to the why you got out. And again, to your point, you still love it as a hobby. You still are doing contracting work with like Mitnick's, organization. What I would like to know is, correct me if I'm wrong, you became, and I would really love to know how this is possible because I didn't think it existed. I thought it was just a term on TikTok. You became a certified life coach.
I'm still working on the certification, but yes. Yes.
How? I didn't think that was possible. I thought you had to be a psychologist or psychiatrist to even be considered anywhere near that.
Life coaching is not the same as a therapist. We're not a mentor. Basically, all we do is we sit down with you, we hear you out, we ask you questions, we give you feedback, we help. Okay, everybody, all of us, intrinsically, we know who we are, what we want. We just need to figure it out. So a life coach asks you questions to help you kind of navigate to find that answer. You're coming up with your own answers. You're coming up with your own plan of action. Like we're helping you with it. We're guiding you with questions. We're not really supposed to offer like advice or, real suggestions, but depending on your relationship with the client, you can. And then we're kind of like an accountability buddy. So we just make sure you stay on task. And if you're struggling with a certain area, then we ask you some more questions and we kind of help lead you, down the path to that answer. So, because I have a friend who's a hypnotherapist and I said, I'd really love to work with people, but I'm not going back to school for a master's. And she said, you don't need to. Half the shit you need, you can learn online and get your certifications there. You don't have to even go into a classroom and you don't need a degree for half of this shit. And I was like, really? So I started looking into it. And then, now I've got a bunch of certifications and things. I'm getting a diploma in cognitive behavioral therapy. I'm becoming a Reiki master. Like I'm still working on, my degrees, but I'm going to become a Reiki master. Um, this stuff is really fun and it's exciting. And if I can still help and work with my cyber people, then it's all good. I'm not losing anything and I'm not going anywhere. I still look at news. I still read up about things that are happening. I still get involved in some conversations, but because I care about it. I've always cared about it. I didn't want the stress anymore.
Now you see why I do this show.
Yeah.
It's funny though, because that's what you're talking about. Again, to your point, right? You don't. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a psychiatrist. I will never go back to school. I legitimately looked at seeing if Pennsylvania would let me take the bar without actually ever going to school. And unfortunately, it's not one of those states, so I can't do it. So I'll never be a lawyer. But, mentorship, motivation, growth, wisdom, all these things, they come with age. So, yeah, sure. Can someone go to school and become a psychologist and literally sit there and tell you about your id and all these other Freudian books and yeah, they can. Or someone can just give you life advice. Someone can literally tell you their story, what they've been through, and help you. And so I love your point of getting out and trying to pursue what you're trying to pursue, because one of the biggest things, and I'm sure, Elena, you've seen it, you follow me on LinkedIn. You've been doing it for quite some time, whether you like, comment, share. You've been doing all these things on LinkedIn for like ever. When I see everything that you're doing, one of the biggest things I tell people is take ownership in their path. They have to walk it. They have to figure it out, and you have to come with tools to help alleviate any obstacles and get through them. And I think that's one of the things that people don't understand. In this industry, we are relying so much on either other people or other organizations without ever relying on ourselves. So with that, like, I love what you're doing, because you have the capability now to get out and pursue it full time and really dig into what you want to do. Things that I do on the side that I don't make no money from, that I don't do. Like, I have a 50 episode podcast in this show. Like, it for me, it's fun and it helps others, and I get to drink beer on YouTube, and they can't do nothing to me. But
Into that.
right, right there. But as far as like everything else, I got a wife and 5 kids. Like, I can't just take that leap and be like, you know what, I'm done. I quit. I'm done. I don't want to deal with the stress, the nonsense, the BS, the everything else that goes along with it. Because I think the longer you're in this industry, I've been in it a hell of a lot longer than you were in it. You become very cynical.
Yeah.
Do companies really care? And if you may be dealing with people within organizations that care, but does the overarching organization care?
Right.
When you're not hiring security people, or you're firing security people, or you're firing your IT staff, do you even care? Because now you're going to hire us, but then you're going to handcuff us. And you're going to be like, hey, you can only pen test this subnet because the others will go down if you run an Nmap scan.
That sounds legit. Well, and the other thing that bugs me about it too is all of the gatekeeping that's going on. We have all of these fresh eyes, fresh ears, fresh thoughts, new perspective, people that actually like grew up with this technology, and we're trying our hardest to keep them out. I don't understand why. Okay, entry level does not mean 3 to 5 years of experience. Doesn't mean have a CISSP. What? Like some of the shit that
So here's where that has to change. Entry level should have, based on the organization, one of two things. One, no certifications, except for none. I can't think of any certification for entry level.
not even security plus.
Not entry level. It's entry. You're going to pay for it?
True.
Who's paying for it? These certification companies now have started jacking up prices.
Yeah.
Prices are going up to get certified. That even OSCP used to be one of the most realistic, real life, and most affordable offensive security certifications out there. Now, even they have completely changed how they price things, how they do things, how they charge for things. So now it's all about money.
Yeah.
It may be about education. Don't get it twisted. I took mine back when it was still like, I think it was like $900. I had somebody else pay for it. The company I was with paid for it at the time. But
Yeah.
like,
See, and this is why I tell people, let the company that hires you tell you what certification they want you to have and then have them pay for it, because this shit's too expensive.
yes.
Especially for somebody that's just starting out and doesn't have, they're not making the kind of money that they would be making once they hit 2-3 years. So it's just, you're kind of trying to keep my language clean, but
You
you're
don't
kind
have
of
to.
put
Fuck
them
it.
as
Go balls to the wall. You're good to go, Alana.
well, yeah, it's just it's not fair, because you can't say that, we've got all these cyber roles open and there's all these seats open, but you're not letting anybody fill. Are they really open? Are these phantom roles that are being offered out here, or are
Unless
they already going to internal candidates and referrals, and you just have to interview a certain amount of people? It's really
that's
fun.
government mainly, but I know it happens in the civilian side, but that is definitely government jobs.
Yeah.
I worked for the government. I was in the Army. Worked at the Pentagon for Army television. Learned all about GS positions. And yes, they are legitimately told, yes, we know you have an internal hire, but you have to at least post the job externally and interview so many people before you can hire somebody. Yes, that is set. They already know who they want. It's not going to fucking change. They already know. So it's not always worth it. And they waste people's time.
Yeah. And not only that, but it dashes their hopes. And this is why the mindset in cyber right now is so god awful, because there's nothing but dangling carrots for everybody, everywhere you look. And you have a lot of really disheartened people. I hope you can't hear my cats fighting. Anyways, there's a lot of disheartened people, because they're even the ones that are like following the advice and doing the things. It's just not the same landscape anymore. So, and it's frustrating. And that, that really, that's what gets me the most.
And so I got two people here, and Jupiter 1,000 times ice. I would put your whole comment thread up, but it's not one post, so I'm not going to do it. We're just going to talk about it. So if you're on YouTube, please. If you're not on YouTube, go to YouTube, watch the live chat. You can see a lot more. If you're on YouTube and you're watching this after the fact, just pay attention. You'll understand where I'm coming from. But he talks about, one is, as far as gatekeeping, a lot of companies consider cybersecurity an afterthought, and they're not wrong. And the other one is, he renewed his Sec Plus for $200, and he did 20 years in the Army. I'm gonna touch on that because I retired as a 25 Delta with more letters after my name than the damn alphabet. But before I get there, gatekeeping and companies treating cybersecurity as an afterthought. Elena, what's your thought? I know we talked a little bit about gatekeeping, but the afterthought of cybersecurity. What's your take on
Uh, Nobody seems to really see the importance of it. I think they think it's like some boutique, niche thing that everybody wants to talk about, and that it's not really valid, or that, okay, hear me when I say this. It's not that you're too small to get breached. It's that you're too small to make the news. Okay. Everybody can get breached. Everybody. And it's something like, what's guaranteed in life? Death and taxes and getting breached. So why don't you do yourself a favor and protect your network? Like, even just basic cyber 101, like basic cyber hygiene is better than nothing at all. Get a small group of people in there that know what they're doing, because then, and I think a lot of it too is, now that cyber insurance is becoming so popular, they're just going to go ahead and tick the boxes, do the bare minimum, and then know that they've got a clause built into their
that? Why I fucking hate PCI DSS.
yeah, yeah. Built in, well, we're covered to up to $1 million in, damages or whatever it is. And it's like, what are you doing? Why are you being a Google? Just stop it and do what you need to be doing from the get-go, and then don't let anybody's shit get breached. Like, I don't want all my and it kind of is because that's just how it is now. But, I don't want all my stuff out there for everybody. And because you didn't feel the importance of protecting your data, now I got to freeze my credit. And I have to, thanks for that free credit monitoring, by the way. That's really helpful. It's just garbage. It's garbage. And
Well, I think we're at a point in time right now when it comes to breaches and information being out there. Like, we have to look at this differently. And that from a personal standpoint, we can't look at data breaches as, oh, it affects us. Because let's be honest, every single person in the United States, your information's out there. I will guarantee you, I can go onto the dark web and buy your social security number and information off of somebody. Guarantee it. Because it's out there. Especially now, because who was it? The government or somebody got breached, like 3 billion freaking people's information got out or whatever it was. Like, bigger than OPM. Friggin' huge. Your information is out there. But from a company standpoint, now you have to look at it from a financial aspect and a reputation aspect. Smaller companies, your reputation should matter. Larger companies, it should. But let's be honest. If reputation mattered, Target would have gone out of business. Home Depot would have gone out of business. T-Mobile would have gone out of business. But yet my dad is still a T-Mobile customer. I know people that still shop at Target. Like, I don't care for the data being leaked. I care about the security of the organization.
Yeah.
My privacy is more important than my social security number being out there.
Yeah.
Again, being military, OPM got hit. I had already done a clearance. My social security number's out there. Fucking find it. Good luck. Have fun. Improve my credit score, please. I beg of you. But as far as everything else, I care more about what you can see when I'm sending text messages. I care more about what you can see when I'm writing emails, when I'm buying shit. AI is everywhere. Everybody sees everything. The boogeyman from the government spies on everybody. And we all know this. If you think they don't, shut up, get bent. They look at everything you do. So all those naked pictures you're taking, the NSA has them on record. They probably sort them by best looking or biggest wang to smallest and least impressive. Just saying. Like, this happens. That's my concern versus, oh, hey, this dude from China got your social security number and is going to open up a credit card. Cool. Like, that means nothing. Credit card companies now have ways to defeat that. That's not my concern. You open up a mortgage, I'm going to claim that house. Just saying. That's now going to be mine because you put it in my name. But you open up a credit card or go buy some shit, look, I can get that money refunded.
Yeah.
I don't care.
And the banks
I care
are good
about my
that.
privacy.
Yeah. I wanted to get into privacy. So I was really, really into privacy. And that is a hard niche to get into. Good grief.
Because you got to look at companies, you got to look at like countries like the UK that are now saying, hey, we want to be able to see all your encrypted messages.
Yeah. I don't know that I like that.
Like, look, I don't, no. Look, if you were sending email on corporate computers or going on Facebook or doing whatever on company machines, on company, email messaging, whatever, yes, that company has full rights to everything you're doing. But if I am on my computer right here, nobody should be able to see what I'm doing unless they put malware on my machine.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Same with my phone.
But now they're suing the FCC.
Our cars alone know more about us than probably your spouse does. It's kind of disturbing. And most people would think that, I think Tesla was the worst because there was a list of 25 that I read last year, 25 car companies that spy on you and steal your data and sell it without your permission. And I am a Hyundai girl. I've been drinking the Hyundai Kool-Aid since 2017. I'm on my fourth.
I like Toyota. That's just me.
Well, it was Tesla, Hyundai, and then I think Toyota was right after that. So we're all fucked. That's great. And but whatever. At least my car
Look,
plays
the
my
Army did it to me for years. I'm good. We could look.
yeah.
We're good to go. I'm all right with it.
Yeah. I like that I get into my car's like, oh, it's this time of day. Are you going here? What the fuck?
Actually, you
No.
know what's worse than your car? Your phone and your watch.
Yeah.
I legitimately, kid you not, my car has Bluetooth. So as soon as I start my car, because all I do is listen to Bluetooth from my phone the uh to the car. As soon as I start my car and the Bluetooth connects, and it's like, oh, you're in your car, homie. Hey, it's gonna take you 8 minutes today to get to Walmart. What do you mean get to? I just because I'm going to Walmart at the same time every day doesn't mean I fucking need you to tell me it's gonna take me 8 minutes.
Right.
The hell.
Yeah. The first time my car did that, it kind of set me back for a minute. I sat there
Oh,
and
I was thrown and my phone did it to me. When my map suddenly came up and gave me, it's going to take you this long to get from here to here just because I turned on my car.
yeah.
Dude. And now with my kids in football, it's even worse because now every time I start it up at like 5 o'clock, it's like, hey, it's going to take you this long to get to the field. Shut up. Just quit telling me. Quit. I don't want to know that you remember where I go every day at that time.
Yeah.
Oh, man. What do we do to make people give a shit about cybersecurity because breaches don't matter? You first, Elena.
That's a great question, and that question is the reason why I ultimately decided to get out of cyber because I was tired of trying to make people give a shit about cybersecurity. So I'll let you have a stab.
So here's the thing, right? Unfortunately, we're going to run into people that are kind of like myself. I've become a cynic. There are only two types of companies out there, those that have been breached and those that don't know it yet. That's it. And so I think the people matter, but your mental well-being is more important, which is where I think Elena is going to come into play wholeheartedly, and a lot of the things that I do too. But with Elena getting out and having an understanding of how things are and being able to push forward a little bit harder than I can, it's really going to come down to the people just breaking in, your mid levels that aren't cynical yet, and even your seniors that are still coming up to change those minds. You know, in politics, they talk about hearts and minds, hearts and minds. It's the same way in cybersecurity. You've got to win over to CEOs. You've got to win over to CIOs. Unfortunately, some of your CISOs are either one, too much like your engineers and your analysts that are so social, that they have so much social anxiety, they don't know how to express themselves that a CEO to get them to buy in, or two, they don't care anyways. And the exceptions to that role, the ones that do care, that are trying to impress, the importance to the CEO. At that point, the CEO don't care.
Well,
Like
the
those
problem is
exceptions that are role, if and the CISO isn't on the board too, and that's even worse. The CISO can't even talk to everybody. Half the time, they're passing information through the CIO, through the CTO, or they can only talk to the CEO directly. They can't talk to the board, which then
right.
requires a vote. So for things that are going to happen, it's on us, and we just got to find a way to keep chugging and eventually making a difference. I think MSSPs are doing a good deal. And if you're in that situation as an MSSP, as an engineer, as a director, as whatever it is, talking to these executives, you are that voice now. You have to impress that. If they came to you to do their security, you give them an all or nothing. You tell them you're
Or
either getting it secured or you're bent.
or you bring the C-suite in when there's a breach and you make them triage, investigate, perform incident response, write the report, talk to the client, because they're not there in the trenches handling any of it. They're not the ones getting the call at 3 in the morning to get on their computer and have to do the things. So they're removed. They're too far removed. They don't understand what goes into it. and why everybody's so stressed out and why cybersecurity matters and why it's just something that people keep bringing up, talking about. We don't have the budget for that. We don't have the budget for it. Okay, well, you should have the budget for it. Maybe you should come down to the SOC and sit in here for a week and do graveyards.
Well,
Maybe that's
IT's the
what you
same
do.
way. IT, up until cybersecurity came along, IT was just an expense. Make the blinky lights blink. When the blinky lights quit blinking, you're in trouble. If they continue to blink, we ain't going to pay you more. We're not going to give you a bonus. We're not going to give you a raise. We're not going to do anything but, hey, you know what? Here's a pizza party.
Yeah.
That's it. But make the blinky light. But then when shit hits the fan, now all of a sudden it's your fault that Microsoft pushed out a bad patch like they tend to do. Or like some EDR company like CrowdStrike and Microsoft started fighting, and now your screens are blue screening. Now that's IT's fault. That's not the company that didn't QA their shit.
Yeah.
When your routers break because of a routing loop, that it's got to be networking. It can't be the fact that somebody fucked something up, that Cisco did something wrong and said, "Hey, you have to do this to fix your shit." No. That's never the problem. It's always on the people in IT. Same with security. We can only patch what is given to us. We can only mitigate what is given to us. But when you are allowing everybody and their brother to have admin rights, when you're allowing CEOs to be able to do whatever the hell they want on whatever system, because they're the CEO and we got to make them happy. Fuck that, get bent. I'm going to make you operate at the lowest possible level, which means you can open up Word and that's it, bitch. Word and email is all you get. I might be nice. I'll give you Excel. You know what? I'll give you Excel, but don't intend to turn on any macros. That's just disabled. You're not allowed. Don't intend to go to any websites if they're media driven. If there's any type of freaking JPEGs or MP3s or MP4s that load from them bitches, nope, you're done. Sorry, homie, not going. Well, why not? Because you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna be the first one to get spearfished.
Yeah.
Why would I give you the keys to the kingdom? Nope, not happening. But the flip side to that is the fucking egos in cybersecurity that think they know everything and can do everything. And are like, yeah, I need all the rights to the kingdom. And then let me go click this phishing link right here because I forgot to log in to my VPN. You motherfucker!
Yeah. I helped with the phishing dashboard for 1 quarter at the bank. And we had mortgages. We had all the people that worked in mortgage, and it's a little different for them because they're constantly getting documents from people. There's links that get sent over and things like that. And so that department was always super heavy in people getting phished. But it's like it gets to a point where it's like, okay, and we had really good security awareness training there. Like I really respected the bank's cybersecurity program. I that's why I stayed there for a year, because our CISO was amazing. I loved my team. They did a really good job. But
Right.
And it got to the point where it's like, okay, it's the same subset of people that keep clicking these links, and we do
That's when you
really
start
good
fining
phishing.
and firing people.
Yeah, and when I went to B-Sides, Oklahoma B-Sides this year, one of the CISOs, they have this like battle of the CISOs, and he was like, "Nope, we're gonna do a wall of shame," and I was like, "Oh shit!" So he wanted to do a
Do
wall
it.
of shame of everybody that had clicked phishing attempts, and I mean, I'm not for that, but what is it going to take? Like you already know if you just hover over it. Just hover over it. You can see what the link is. If you hover over the address, you can see what the address is. And people just they're too impatient. They're too in a hurry. They're not being mindful. They're not present. They're just wanting to do the thing and then get the fuck home because they're stressed out and they're tired. And I get it. And nothing good comes from a point of being stressed out and tired. And we're all stressed out and tired. So it's like a vicious circle. And yeah, who even knows?
Wait, we're all stressed and tired? Are you serious?
I think so.
I mean, that's a thing?
Yeah.
I thought we weren't allowed to be.
I
I didn't think it was allowed to exist.
I've seen people drink 600 to 800 milligrams of caffeine in one day.
Oh,
My
I drink more than that.
Oh my God, how do you people survive? How are your organs not in failure? I don't understand.
I live on 8. Well, I've been drinking more water due to football, but I get two C4s and two monsters every day for that gets me through like the morning, and
Man,
then every so often I'll buy like stuff after the fact. Not always, but every so often. Like I started getting yelled at football. I had coaches like, "Seriously, you're drinking another one?" Yeah, don't worry, it'll be all right.
I think I have one 200 milligram, and my heart is like, can we please stop? What is happening right now? We thought you loved us. It's like, but I do, but I want to try to get some shit done.
Look, I feel the same way about my heart that I do my liver. Shut up, you're fine, it'll be okay. I really wish this was my merchandise. I wish I would have thought of coming out with a shirt like this, but I didn't. I bought it at a beer fest, so I said that earlier, but I really do wish it was mine because I would so sell this.
Yeah, I like it.
Although for cyber, I could change it to shut up heart, you're fine, or kidneys. Either way, because at the very least, at least my energy drinks are sugar free. Okay,
Mine
give me
too.
some credit.
Mine too. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
But so when we think about leaving cyber, what was the hardest part for you?
Honestly, giving up the money. Giving
I
up the
get
money.
that. I get
Because
that.
I made goals for myself when I got in. I'm going to hit this amount within this amount of time, and I did that a year sooner than I had planned on it. So I was super proud of myself, and I was able to buy a house and various other things, and that's awesome. That was the point. I wanted a career. I wanted to be able to take care of myself and obtain those things that normal people. Society tells you you're a piece of shit unless you have these things. So now I've got these things, but like I said, when I sat down to do my budget, my contract gig literally covers barely because I live under my means. I watched my
Yeah.
grandparents have 3 mortgages and tons of credit card debt, and I was like, well, I'm not doing that. So luckily, I had the wherewithal to live below my means, so that I had the opportunity to be able to do this. But to me, again, there are no coincidences. So the fact that I had that thing right there available for me to be able to exit, because I know that not everybody can. I understand that I'm blessed and I'm grateful and I'm humbled to be able to do what I'm doing. I'm not. I don't have a partner. My son is grown. I've got 2 cats. I don't have anybody like you do that I need to really worry about except myself, and I'm covered. So, giving up the money was hard, but money is a revolving door. It'll come back.
And
And
it's funny you say that because when I look at things, and me and my wife have these conversations, and we used to have them a hell of a lot more frequently than we do now. But it's like, can we pay this? Can we do that? Can we, get the kids this? Can we do that? And I've always been of the mindset I'll make it happen. I don't care.
and
Money's money. I can find a way to get money. Like as long as it's legal, I'll do it. So money has never been a problem. We all need to realize at some point that all of this shit is a ton more about people than it is about information or security. It's all about people.
yeah,
So let me take you back. I'm gonna take y'all on a little history lesson. All right. So cybersecurity, let's put it into the mindset. Cybersecurity, information security, IT, it's all innovation, and companies are always behind the 8 ball. Prior to IT, you had other things, right? Computers didn't exist, and we got the newspapers. And before the newspapers, actually, I think it was like you had TVs, radios, newspapers, all that, right? It's all the way down the line. But at the end of the day, when you go as far back as humanly possible, when you look at all the history, everything is about humanity.
hmm
And when we talk about leaving the industry, we leave for humanity, we leave for happiness, we leave to do different things, just like getting in. Getting in, I tell people all the time, don't come in for money. Yes, I know. There are detractors that say come for money, and I agree or disagree. You do you, boo boo. But you have to do what makes you happy.
Yes.
Because if you're going home every day absolutely miserable, if you have a family, you're going to take that shit out on your family.
Yes.
If you don't have a family, you're going to abuse yourself. Whether it's alcohol, drugs, or some other means, you're going to find a way. You're going to be fucking miserable. And so when I go as far back as humanity, I have noticed that generally people want happiness. People will do what's best for themselves. People are generally good. People will farm, they know how to hunt, and this is innate within us. We know how to do all these things. Who doesn't, and who holds the reins, who tells us we need to work, who tells us we need to do all these things? Look at the people you're working for, homie. You're doing it to make money because money makes the world go round.
Yes.
I completely agree with Alana. Start living below your means. If you ain't got a spouse and kids to hold you back, live below your means and do what makes you happy. You want to be a starving artist? Go be a starving artist. You want to get into music? Get into music.
There's days I wake up and I've got anxiety because I'm like, what am I doing? And that's the other thing is we are programmed to constantly feel like we need to be productive. What are you doing today? What are you doing tonight? What are you doing? What are you doing? I'm a human being. I'm not a human fucking doing. All right. I'm a human being. And I have enough money to pay my bills. So today I'm going to do whatever I want to do that makes me feel good to be a human. And that is not that's not anything that's taught to us anymore. We're treated, we're put through the government system. Our schools teach us diddly squat, and then we're churned out, part of the government sponsored education, and then going to college, and then start doing these things, working for us, and then we're going to take half your
the assembly line. Keep
yeah,
going.
we are a human assembly line. And then not only that, they spit in our fucking face and take half of our paychecks, and we're bringing half of the shit home. I didn't make six figures. I made like 70 grand at the end of the fucking year because they took so much. And how is that fair? Back when it was FDR, they were building schools, hospitals, roads, a whole country, infrastructure in a whole country, and there were no income taxes. There were no taxes at all. So you tell me how we need this stuff, and I'm not going to get off on a total tangent because now it's a total other subject. But I mean, this is part of the problem. And schools today still, why do you need a master's degree to work in cyber? You don't. You don't. Depending on what you do, maybe there's some high.
No, there is no, in nobody's right mind, you need a master's degree.
Well, right. Like, I don't understand it. And people are like,
You want to know why, though? Here's the thing. So it's 7:53, so we got some time for some tangents. So we're going to go on some fucking tangents because that's what I fucking do, and I like doing it. A master's degree and the requirement, therefore, only came about because back when me and you were going to school, Elena, it was everybody needed a bachelor's degree to get anywhere in life. So what happened? Everybody got a fucking bachelor's degree. It watered down the bachelor's degree. So now they're like, oh, now you need a master's so you can set yourself apart from the people with the bachelor's. All it came down to was give the colleges more money and then you can get a job. The master, I was going to school for a master's. You know what it taught me? How to write fucking essays. That is it. You did not get better at your job. You did not get better technically. You learned how to write essays. And you know what those essays were? 10 to 15 pages of fluff of shit you can answer in 3 sentences.
Yeah.
Why does this do this? 1, because it is designed this way. 2, here's the reasoning, like the example and explanation, whatever. But literally 1 paragraph or 3 sentences could answer fucking everything. Hey, give me 10 to 15 pages.
Yeah.
In our industry, it is not required and it should never be required. You want a CISO? Don't ask for a master's in cybersecurity. Ask for an MBA because what you're really looking for is somebody that knows financials and business.
Yeah.
Don't ever tell me you're looking for a CISO with a master's degree in cybersecurity. I'm going to tell you to kick rocks.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
I'm just saying that it got so watered down. Certifications. The only reason I will stand on certifications, the only reason is because some, not all, are more technical. So when
Mhm.
you don't have the enterprise experience and you're building labs, those certifications get you through the ATS system. Then I can talk to you about your personal experience. That is it. But past entry level, fuck your certifications. I don't care.
Yeah.
I really don't care.
I don't. I mean, I only had one. I had Security Plus. I
And
had,
you should.
and here's the thing, people. Okay, so everybody pursuing a master. I'm not. I'm not trying to rip on anybody's goals or dreams or what you make you feel bad about your decisions. I got to where I was in this industry in. I mean, I made it. I considered myself making it at 2 years in, and I had 3 months of boot camp education and one Security Plus certification. That is it. That is it. That is all it took. And some tenacity, some elbow grease, some bugging people on LinkedIn, and I made it. That's it. I didn't have to go back out to school to learn anything else. You know, there were other certifications, sure, that I was looking at and wanted to get, and the bank wanted me to get the C risk. But, you know, the more that I studied for the C risk, I was just like, I don't want to do this. Don't care. Don't care. And I didn't want to waste their money either. Like, I'm not going to make you pay for this thing for me when I don't want it. I don't want to do this job. So, I mean, out of respect for the bank, I was just like, I'm going to bow out. I'm going to bow out and just let you guys find somebody to take my spot that is actually going to give a shit and want to do the things. And it's not that I didn't give a shit. I hate saying that. I did care, but it's just not what I wanted to do.
Well,
So,
and that's what it comes down to is
but
whether or
that's
not.
money. So, like you said, don't, please, for the love of all that is holy, don't chase money. If you got into this industry because you like finding your way around somebody's network, you like pen testing, you like the blue team stuff, please do that. Like, go do anything, go down all the rabbit holes. Get the certifications that you want to get that you think are
Yeah.
pretty cool, that are fun for you. Like, as long as it's fun, keep doing that thing. The minute it becomes not fun, the minute it becomes a chore, the minute you feel like you have to do, oh my fucking God, when I feel like I have to do something, that's exactly when I
So,
don't want to do it.
so here's don't work just for money. You would do your job for minimum wage. Otherwise, you can't convince me you are not working for the money. Infinite improbability AI. Motherfucker. No. We're changing words. We were saying don't chase money. Don't get in it just for money. Get into it because you love it and the money will come.
Yes,
Don't turn down raises. Don't turn down promotions.
by all
They
means.
just
That's why they
don't
job hop. That's why
chase
they job hop.
money.
I was able to make 25 to $30,000 pay raises between jobs. And it's not that I was a job hopper. I don't want to, like, some of the jobs that I got into, it was unfortunate circumstances that I
I
had to.
was a company hopper, not a people hop. Well, no, I work for people, not companies.
Okay,
And
we'll
for
say that.
anybody out there for the company that I'm working for, look, I'm still sticking with y'all. I love y'all, and I will continue to make y'all better. But that's how I ended up leaving companies was because I'm loyal to people.
Yeah. I just wanted to, there was too much that I was interested in. So if somebody brought me something that was like, shit, that sounds really cool. I'd love to learn that.
Well, that was my role with my last. So the when I retired from the army, I worked for one company. Did not like it. They were paying me pennies on the dollar for being in management, and every time I turned something like it wasn't even just the pay. It was legitimately like the job itself. I hated. I was literally miserable going home every fucking day. Like I hated the job. So I immediately started looking for another job. The next job I got, I loved my director. I loved my boss. I loved my team. I loved everything I was doing. Got well compensated, after like I got a lot more money to go there, a lot more money after a year. And like they were good to me. I loved what I was doing. I was working from home. Great. But then my buddy who had left that company and went to another company called me and said, "Hey, you want to break into shit for a living?" Yeah, here you go. Of
Kind of, sort
course,
of.
more money came with it, but like he knew I love the offensive side. So fucking homie, let's go. Let's have some fun.
Yeah. And that's how it happens. So,
I will never leave a company for less just because, again, wife, 5 kids. The
yeah.
more I can give them, the better. I will never leave a company for less money. But if a company were to come to me and be like, hey, I'll give you 50 grand more a year to do your exact same job or give you less responsibility, either way, I'm good with.
It's hard to
Cool.
say no.
Let's go.
Yeah. It's hard to say no. Why would you want to? I mean, I guess if you do have, like a team and a job that you love, then okay. I mean, I'm not going to pick on anybody that wants to stay where they're at, and it's different strokes. So, yeah. And for me, I knew that I was going to remain in cyber. Like, I don't consider myself
And you
out of it.
still are. Like,
Right.
even with everything you've put out, you still are. And
Yeah.
so I think it provides a lot of value. And again, Elena, you have seen. Now, whether or not you've listened to or watched, I do have a Walk With Me podcast, all about self improvement and self help and all that stuff. Which is why when you were like, hey, I'm leaving cyber and going into life coaching, I was like, me and her need to talk.
I'm really glad that you decided to continue, because I thought for sure that you'd be like, I don't want to talk to her anymore. So I was prepared for you to be like, I'm going to find another guest. So thank you again for keeping
No, because it
it.
means so much because we all have reasons for doing things. Jack here, his biggest question he ever once answered is why. What is your why? Now that I'm gonna advise you go listen to my Walk With Me podcast. It's on YouTube and all major streaming platforms. I've only done 50 episodes and I'm about a year and a half away from it because I haven't done it in a while. But still, why was my biggest factor, and Jack has since adopted that. I think you've answered it. If you feel you have not given enough answer, and then after this, I'll ask you one more question to wrap up the episode. What was your why for going from cybersecurity to life coach as a full-time job?
Because I want to help people. I've already been in the trenches. I know what it feels like to be you. And it doesn't always feel good to have that amount of pressure, that amount. The people that I see on LinkedIn talking about how they've waited so long to find a job, they're so desperate, they're willing to take a job that pays them a third of what they're used to making when they've got families and bills because they're so desperate. And if I could just break through to help them understand that the mindset that they are using right now is not to their advantage. If they could, you can't solve, I said it yesterday on a different show, you can't solve a problem with the same energy that created it. So
Yeah,
all of this stress and shit caused this thing. You're not going to be able to fix it with all of the stress and all of the shit that caused that thing. And when we're happier and we're actually like what you were talking about, creativity opens up, joy opens up. Like one of the guys that I listen to, David Bayer, his clients, he's also a coach. His clients will ask him, I've got all this shit going on in my business. What do I need to do? I'm really stressed out. And he'll say, go have a date night with your wife. Go get your dog and go take a walk in nature. Go get your kids and go to the mall. Because what you need is to step away from it and you need to get yourself back up to where you're feeling happy, you're feeling calm, you're feeling peaceful, because that's when all the ideas will come and you'll be able to tackle that problem from a completely different angle. You'll have clarity. All those negative emotions will be gone and it'll be like, seeing the forest through the trees. So that's my why, is I want to be able to help people see the forest through the trees. And it's not as bad as it looks. It only looks so bad because you're down the fuck here. And when you're down here and you're in this negative vibrational state, this primal state, how can you accomplish anything? Nothing feels good. You feel like you've got no way out. And I just want to be able to help people be able to break past that so they can obtain the jobs they want and the lives that they dream about. That's my why.
absolutely love it. your why is why I do a lot of things. I have the same one: help others. Again, this show, my other podcast, Motivation Monday, so much more that I do other than this. The technical side, I love it, but there's so many other. You can't spit with or throw a rock without hitting somebody that does technical content. Your why is my why. I want to help others. I want to help my kids. I want to help my wife. Me and my wife have a conversation all the time. Don't come to me with your problems unless you want solutions.
Yeah.
And if you don't want solutions, please let me know up front. I will sit there and listen. But if you want answers to your problems or questions or whatever, I give them to you. It's how I am. I want to help others, and I will fix your problem. Quite a few people I want to fix in not so good ways. But
So,
and we'll talk about that one off air. That answer will get me kicked off of YouTube.
yeah.
But I absolutely love it. So saying that, knowing all of that, and me and you, please hang around in the back. We will talk after the episode. There's a lot of people in the comments: Jupiter, Space Tacos, Jack, Infinite Improbability AI. Hey, AR, me and you are gonna have to talk later because I have some other things we can talk about. All these people, I'm grateful for all of you. I love you all.
Yes.
Some of you are new. Jupiter, you're new. There were a few other new people in the chat. Thank you for being here. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, all those fun things. Hit cyberwarriorstudios.com to donate, not everything else. But otherwise, look, I love you all. You're all amazing. And before I go, Elena, you're going to do the sign off. But you also got to tell people your advice for breaking into cybersecurity.
That's so long. Just go look at my LinkedIn. Oh my gosh, I'm always posting about it. That's too long of a question to sign off.
No, all right. Give me 1 point. What would be the biggest piece of advice, the biggest one-liner you could tell people to get into cybersecurity?
Build your network. Your network is going to be your support net, your backbone, and your ways into companies and jobs that you're otherwise not going to have access to. Build your network. Quit being shy. Quit being introverted. You can't go to acting school and then decide that you don't want to get behind a camera or go to auditions. You have to do the thing. Just put yourself out there. It'll get easier as you do it, I promise.
Love it. Look, I love you all. It's been a great stream. It's been a great time. And I know we did things a little backwards, but it's all right. I love you all. Take care. And I'll see you next time on another amazing episode of Security Happy Hour.